Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm here in Denver, Colorado. Matt Kobold joining me freshly from Tennessee. It's my guy, Max Faulkner. Max, great to have you back, brother.
Oh my goodness. It has been a long time coming. It's been like over 3 weeks now since being on the pod.
Crazy.
It's been a long journey, man. It's been a long journey. The biggest move of my life, moving here to Tennessee with my beautiful wife, and we've made a great decision. We're so excited to be here. We're so grateful. Such nice people here, great opportunities, and it's just beautiful. It's everything about it is beautiful. I can't wait to start a new life, but if there's one thing I'm not restarting, it's about talking about sports right here on the Don't Tell Mom Sports Podcast. Thanks for having me back. How are you doing, Kobreezy? How's everything?
I'm doing great, man, but I want to get into your move a little bit more. Any funny stories along the trip? Anything happen? Tell me anything about the where you're living, anything.
Everything, this whole move has been such a blur. It honestly has been, from packing up those U-Haul bins to flying down to Chicago to see my parents and then driving down to Tennessee. Everything has been a blur because it's tough. Like this move, yeah, is just freaking. I don't know how else to explain it. These kind of moves, you kind of just want it to be done with. Okay, I thought it was going to be a little bit more exciting with hopefully more stories, but no, it was more of like, let's get to Tennessee and then let's settle down and then let's restart our life. So I have nothing for you guys. I honestly, I've it's been very stressful. I'll at least say that. But things are getting way better now and we're starting to settle down. So that's all I got.
I heard you became a fan of a new team this past Sunday.
I did go to those Tennessee Titans, and I got to tell you what. Yeah, we'll bring up that game, 27-3. What a blowout! Okay, what a blowout here in Nashville. They say we're getting nasty. That's they're saying here. We like to get nasty, so you better believe people were getting nasty at Nissan Stadium. It was a great game. Derrick Henry's the man. It was great to see, and we could talk a little bit more detailed on this game as far as what from what I saw from the Cincinnati Bengals that I can tell you right now is it's not looking good. If you're a fantasy owner of a lot of Bengals on that team, we can talk about that coming up.
Well, great to hear you guys made it safe and sound. Luna made the trip okay too.
Yeah, Luna's here. But the poor dog, the poor little baby girl. She every time that we've been in and out of the house, she's been obviously super anxious, and so she threw up quite a few times. And so like anytime that we fed her food, she just threw it right back up. My wife's getting all nervous. Oh, she's sick. I'm like, she's not sick, babe. She's just anxious. Like she knows that we're leaving, and she doesn't want us to leave because she's not. Oh man, it sucks. She threw up all over my chair, my nice chair that I got from Wilmer Valderrama. That's Fez. Okay, Fez gave us a chair, by the way, from that 70s show. Pretty sweet. Yeah, awesome. Luna threw up all over it. So that's I was not pleased about that, but I can understand the circumstances.
Little dog, I'm sure it wasn't that much throw up.
It was more than you could. It was a lot. Okay. I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised how much throw up. It was dripping off the chair. It was not a pretty sight.
Dripping.
Carrots and peas and turkey and just dripping off the chair. It was gross. It was just gross. So I was not happy about that.
Well, hopefully you cleaned it, packed it up nice, and you got it there in Tennessee with you.
Yeah, it's here. But Kobreezy, you sent me some crazy videos about a trip that was this past weekend,
Sunday.
You got to tell the folks about this because I'm telling you right now, this is nuts. You were nuts. Do you still have your nuts? I should be asking that.
I got two good ones. I got two.
They're still there. They're still up and going. They're
still working just fine. It was just 3 days ago, but nuts are good.
You might want to get a physical, man. You gotta let that doc cup it and let you cough.
It's been a while. It's been a while for a physical for me.
It's been a while. Same here. Since basketball, back in high school. Yeah, I haven't had a doctor feel my nuts in a long time.
But the reason we're talking about nuts right now, this past Sunday, me and a buddy, my guy Matt Vukas, shout out Matt, him and I climbed a 14er. Okay, Max, do you know what a 14er is?
14 miles.
So it's a mountain sitting at 14,000 feet above sea level. Okay.
Oh my Lord.
So I had to do a little research myself, but most of America's 14ers reside here in Colorado. I think there's 58 of them, but there are actually some in California, Washington, and Alaska. So this Sunday we did Mount Blue Sky. Now people out there, Mount Blue Sky. It was just renamed, formerly known as Mount Evans. Okay. Mount Blue Sky is the 14th largest Colorado 14er, with the summit sitting at 14,268 feet. Like I said, my guy Matt Vukas, he came early to the house, picked me up. We got there early, got there as the sun was coming up, probably about 7. And he was the leader all the way. He got me up there. He without him, I wouldn't have been able to do it, no doubt about it. But like I said, we got there early, about 7 o'clock, sun's coming up, and it was windy right from the start, Max. Damn it, right at the trailhead, freaking wind gusting through. Max, it got down to 10 degrees with the wind chill.
No way.
78 mile per hour wind gusts were measured. 78 miles per hour, Max.
Yikes.
This route was super tough to follow because of the fog and the cloud and the winds. It was tough to tell where we were headed at some points. There was also a good amount of snow and ice that made it difficult, made it slippery. We made it to Mount Spalding, which is a 13er, so a 13,000 foot mountain.
Beautiful view there. 13er Mount Spalding.
And a bunch of people were hanging out there, and this is where everybody like usually stops and goes back. And actually, everybody that passed us on the way down, not one person told us that they actually made it to Mount Blue Sky. Okay. So we're at this 13er, Mount Spalding. Everybody's hanging out. So we decide to go continue. And another guy sees us going. So he joins our crew, Gavin. You can't do this alone. You can't do this alone. You get hurt. You get hurt. You fall. You're done if you're by yourself. So definitely he needed us, but we needed him because he could really follow the route. He was really going ahead and checking it out before we could get up there. Gavin was a huge help. But we found out why nobody was going past Mount Spalding because of the wind.
Yeah.
So we had to come down a little bit from Mount Spalding. So it's like a saddle to go back up to Mount Blue Sky. Gavin's out in front of us. This guy almost gets blown off the mountain. I swear his feet left the ground. I don't know. he almost got taken out. It was crazy.
Wow.
Had to bear crawl across there.
Oh my Lord.
So the summit of Mount Blue Sky was actually up this treacherous cliff. Okay. I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know. It was a lot of scrambling. So if you don't know what scrambling is, that's when you're on all fours, bear crawling. Okay. A lot of scrambling throughout the whole day. But damn it, Max, we had that summit fever. There was nothing going to stop us from getting up there.
Oh yeah. Let me step on this icy rock. Step on this icy rock right by the 1,000-foot drop off.
We made it to the top.
Wow.
The wind and the fog was actually on the side of the mountain that we were climbing on. So when we got to the top, everything else was so clear, so beautiful. The views, freaking awesome. What now? I sent you some of those videos to show you what I was talking about.
Yep.
What do you think?
First of all, you're crazy. And I'm going to say it right here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. If no one has told you this yet, you are out of your mind to be doing that kind of stuff, man. Blowing you guys down to the ground with 78 mile an hour winds. You're in a tropical storm. Okay, you were in a tropical storm climbing a mountain at 10 degrees.
Okay? On all fours.
I know. I will say that you guys had some balls before they got chipped and frozen off. Also, that winky of yours has to be as shriveled up as a baby carrot. Okay, what the hell happened to that thing?
Yeah, it was definitely shriveled up. You got to stay hydrated at that altitude.
Yeah.
The air's thin. There's not a lot of oxygen. You got to stay hydrated or you're gonna get sick. So I was pissing a lot, and I not only had 6 layers on my top, but I had 3 pairs of pants on. So definitely it was hard to find my weenie in there with 3 pairs of pants, but with it being 10 degrees with the wind chill, I was digging. How
do you pee?
I was literally peeing on myself. I was just peeing in the wind because the wind's just changing, throwing you around.
Kept you warm.
On myself.
That's what kept you warm. Yeah. You know, it's just, I'm just picturing this. What's that stupid character from Frozen? The snowman, Olaf. Okay. I'm not a big fan of Frozen. I thought that was when Disney started going downhill. That's just my take. I didn't think it was that good of a movie. Who cares? But okay, Olaf has a carrot as a nose. Okay. It's a little bit bigger, but picture that same nose, but with a baby carrot. That's your penis. Okay, that's exactly what happened during that summit. I will say one more thing is that you guys have some brass balls to be able to do that, because it's beautiful. Oh my goodness, it was definitely seeing the fog over the mountains. It looks like you're climbing a volcano. By the way, it definitely looks like that's the steam and the smoke. It's really quite gorgeous. Something you don't see every day. So. I'm sure just being there to see that is even more than enough. But the fact that you guys went all the way to the top, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Another one off the bucket list if it even was there. What's next, Mount Everest?
Well, definitely on the list. There's a couple 14ers every year already assembling a team for next season. This year's over with. That was actually my 3rd 14er. My guy Matt Vukas, he's done 15. Okay, he's been up a few. So definitely a heck of an experience, but I'll never do a 14er again in those conditions. That was way too risky. Way too risky. But Max, great to have you back, my guy. Let's talk some sports, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. I can't wait to start jumping in. We got a great show for you, everybody. Thanks for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Of course, please like, comment, and subscribe. And Kobreezy, we got a lot of football to talk, do we not?
Got a lot of football, mostly the NFL. You know, every week we're gonna do our extra juicy Dawgz and our game picks at the end. And but today we're gonna start here in Boulder, Colorado, with our guy Coach Prime. Coach Prime time. And talking about him for a couple weeks now because he's been making a lot of noise. Been making a lot of noise in the sports world. This past week, undefeated USC came to town. They raced out to a big lead, up 34-7 in the second quarter, Max.
Yeah.
But the Buffaloes came back. Comeback came up short. That final score ended up being 48-41. Caleb Williams, we all know Caleb Williams, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, probably the leader for the Heisman this year. He threw for 403 yards and tied a career high with 6 passing touchdowns. 5 different receivers had touchdowns. He spread it around. He had 17 straight completions at one point. What do you think about Caleb Williams, Max?
Caleb Williams, on your big boards when it comes to the NFL draft, he is the number 1 overall pick. I'm telling you right now, because my Chicago Bears are the worst fucking team I've ever seen in the history, in my lifetime. In the history of the Bears organization, I have never seen a worse team. What they should do, they should trade Justin Fields, try to get something big, try to get a good draft pick, because they're going to get the number 1 overall pick because they suck, and you're going to draft Williams. That's what's going to end up happening. You need a better situation there in Chicago. Might as well just start over with Caleb Williams and get rid of that fucking coach, by the way. But Caleb Williams, oh my goodness, if you're not watching USC right now, people, this guy, he has got it. Like, I don't know how else to explain when a quarterback is just so good. All I can say is this guy's got it. Like, he just understands the game of football. He makes the right decisions. It's not just a coach telling him what to do. He makes those decisions also on the field. He's a great, great player. He's going to be, I think he's going to be big time in the NFL coming up.
Going to be the number 1 pick for sure. Another guy that we might see in the NFL, Shedeur Sanders, Coach Prime's son, the quarterback for Colorado. He threw for 371 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 50 yards and another score.
Nice.
The Buffs were without Shiloh Sanders. I believe he hurt his kidney against Oregon. And then Travis Hunter missed his second game.
Yeah.
The Trojans of USC are actually 17-0 all time versus Colorado, Max. Holy shit. 17-0 all time?
Yeah.
USC has scored at least 40 points in all 5 games this season. Looking like a playoff contender. Pac-12 is really good. Next week, this Saturday for Colorado, they go on the road to take on the 1-4 Arizona State Sun Devils.
They should have that one.
Only 4-point favorites. I'm going to take those 4 points, ride the Buffs. Coach Prime, going to make me some money Saturday.
No doubt about it. You know what the Buffaloes need right now? Okay. They need a little pick-me-up, right? So this is what's going to happen. All right. Coach Prime, you want to hype up the crowd? You want to hype up your team? This is what you got to do. You got to show up on that field coming out of the locker room on top of a buffalo. Have you ever seen that show, Guy on a Buffalo? Guy on a Buffalo. I'll send it to you, but just picture Coach Prime coming out on a buffalo. That buffalo is galloping all the way to center of the field. People are going to go nuts. The intimidation that you would put towards the Arizona State Sun Devils. Are you kidding me? They would lose it.
In their stadium, yeah.
In their stadium, Coach Prime with his cowboy hat showing up on top of a buffalo. Coach Prime on a buffalo. I'm telling you right now, that's what he's got to do. Coach Prime, take a hint right here. You want to get back. You want to get your boys back into the mix. I think they're on a two game losing streak. 3? Two. This is what you got to do. Show up on a buffalo, and let's go Buffaloes.
Let's go Buffaloes. 3-2 on the season. Started off with that 3-game win streak. Dropped the last 2. I think a couple more wins are coming for Coach Prime.
Definitely.
Max, lead us into our next segment here of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast.
Are we going into football?
Yeah. Hades.
I didn't know if we were going to the NFL or if we were done with college football. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. No, we have a new segment, everybody, and it is called Hades, Three-Headed Dog. Okay, let's go to Greek mythology, right? Let's go to Greek mythology. Hades, god of the underworld. He had a dog named Cyprus. Okay, Cyprus was a 3-headed dog, basically a monster. And the reason I want to bring this into the mix is the fact that when a running back or a wide receiver, tight end, anyone other than a quarterback scores 3 touchdowns in a game, oh my goodness, that's a 3-headed dog right there. That's a 3-headed dog. We got a Cyprus right here on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. And this week alone, we had 3 guys we got to start naming out, huh, Kobreezy?
Big time names here. Let's get into them.
Heck yeah. So on Thursday nights, okay, Kobreezy, you had this guy in your top 20 in preseason, and I had him in my top 25. I thought, I thought good things, but this guy is ending up being the lead back over Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery had 3 touchdowns on Thursday night. If you had him in your starting lineups, which Sam did not have him in his starting lineup, so sorry, Sam. You got first. I got to jump back a second. For the past few weeks, you guys have been calling me a queef a lot. I've been hearing it on the Don't Tell. You guys called me a queef quite a few times. Well, Sam, that was a queef pick. And not starting David Montgomery. 3-headed dog. He's our first 3-headed dog of the season. David Montgomery. He's in his starting lineup now. I know that for sure.
And Sam actually lost last week to Bobby.
Ooh.
David Montgomery, 34.1 PPR fantasy points, 32 carries for 121 yards and those 3 touchdowns.
31 carries.
31 carries.
Damn, he's got a lot of work.
David Montgomery, like you said, I had him in my top 20. I waited too long to try to get him in the draft. Next year, I will spend up if I want him. If I want a guy like that.
David Montgomery was underrated on the Bears. I know he had some injuries, but man, now he found his home. Okay, Detroit is looking good this season. Good for David Montgomery. Welcome to the Hades Club.
Who is our next player?
Our next player, okay, let's go drop over to a wide receiver. It's Josh Allen's favorite target, Stefon Diggs. Finally, right? Finally, I mean, Stefon. I mean, he's been doing okay this year. Don't get me wrong, but this was the breakout game. This is when you're like, okay, this is why I drafted early for Stefon Diggs, or I kept Stefon Diggs. Come on, it's hard to catch 3 touchdowns in a game, people. And this guy, especially against the Dolphins, you kidding me? The Dolphins put up 70 points 2 weeks ago, and they just freaking ran and just played around with Miami. Hey, good for Stefon Diggs. What else you got for me with Stefon Diggs, Kobreezy?
6 for 120 and those 3 touchdowns. That's 20 yards a catch. 36 PPR fantasy points.
Nice.
He's looking like a top 10 player.
Oh yeah. I mean, it seems like it every single season.
And who's our last player for this segment?
Oh man, this guy had 4 touchdowns. 4. He's going to be the leader of the Hades 3-headed dogs. I'll tell you right now. Okay. This guy was arguably the number 1 overall pick in your fantasy drafts. He was a keeper in our league. We have not seen Christian McCaffrey in a long time. This guy had 4 touchdowns. Okay. Oh my goodness. This guy does it all. He might be the best player in the NFL. He might very well be.
I believe he has a 13 or 14 game streak of scoring touchdowns. That's ridiculous.
Amazing.
This past week, 20 carries for 106 yards and 3 touchdowns, 7 catches for 71 yards and another touchdown, 48.7 PPR fantasy points. If you had Christian McCaffrey, you might be 4-0. You might be 4-0 if you have Christian McCaffrey, at least 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said this before. Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers. Ooh, my goodness, that is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It just doesn't get better than that. I'm telling you, when he was in Carolina, he was going to put up fantasy stats and fantasy numbers, but they were never winning. Now he's on a team that puts up the fantasy numbers and they were winning. Good for Christian McCaffrey. I'm glad that he's finally on a team that can go to a Super Bowl, because when you see a player that's as good as he is, we want to see that guy in a championship game. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. Nice new segment here for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, Max.
I'm hoping we see more, but once again, people, this is very, very rare. Okay. But the fact that we had 3 in 1 week, pretty impressive, but we're hoping to get more. We'll see. Hey, Thursday, the Bears going to get a 3-headed. No way. No way. No.
Hey, Cole Kmet with 2 last week, though.
Hey, good for Cole Kmet. Yeah.
But Max, you know what we also had 3 of last week in our league? Gooses.
Oh,
Max, we had 3 gooses. We got to take a couple minutes here to make fun of some guys in our league. Jack, we had him on here for the NFC North breakdown. Packers guy. He started Jordan Addison last week, Max. He had a fat goose on 1 target.
1 target. What?
No.
What in the world happened there? You would think that he got hurt. No, he didn't get hurt. He just wasn't looked. He was not looked at.
61 yards and a touchdown week 1, 72 yards and a touchdown week 2, 52 yards week 3 on 6 catches. So definitely a down week last week. You can probably fire him back up, but
yeah,
I know TJ Hockenqueef also had a low game. So the fact that that was the Vikings' first win too.
I guess they're not chucking it enough or anymore. They got to start running the ball, try to run the clock out a little bit more, because 0-3, they definitely had to try to tweak their game plan a little bit.
Well, they beat the winless Panthers, so let's not get crazy.
It's true.
Another goose in our league. We got to count these gooses. -6 points here from the Steelers defense. Queef Wilson. We've had Wilson on here a couple times. -6 points from the Steelers D. I would say they were a popular pickup last week going to face the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
They scored 23 points against the Browns in week 2. So that's great for a defense. But -6 this last week at Houston. Are you dropping them?
Oh man,
play the Ravens.
Ooh, yeah, and I wouldn't be excited. I do like the division rivalry. It just seems like they try to turn it up a little bit more when it comes to those games. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a great game during Nick Chubb's season-ending, potentially career-ending hit. I'm still very, very sad. I'm very, very sad about that, everybody. If
we all are.
Can we just take a minute to just pray for Nick Chubb, for him to come back? I miss this guy. I'm sorry, I had to bring up Nick Chubb real quick. I know we're talking about the Steelers defense,
not
but
on your team anymore.
He's on the IR. He's
dropping him at the end of the season. You're done.
I'm keeping him on the bench. I'm keeping him on the bench. All right. But Steelers defense, they did great a couple weeks ago, and then but Houston's underrated. CJ Stroud he might be dumb as rocks, but this guy knows how to play football. This guy knows that. We talked about that too. We know this guy is a great quarterback. He should have went number 2 overall, and that's exactly what happened. So, but against the Ravens, I would not be excited to start the Steelers defense. TJ Watt's great, but what else is happening there?
Yeah, outside of Mike Tomlin and that offense, that's for our guy Will. Tough season so far for the Steelers.
Yeah, and not looking good.
Last goose for week 4. Now, I doubt this was a goose in 5% of leagues out there, but it was a goose in our league, Max, because T-Bone Malone, Trevor Bradkey, the reigning champion, slept on Deshaun Watson, who was a Sunday morning rule out with the shoulder. Deshaun Watson this year, he's QB 13 right now on a points per game basis. He's got week 5 next week to rest up, and that's also going to give Trevor some time to get a fucking substitute in there. What do you think about T-Bone falling asleep on his lineup and only scoring 57 points, the back-to-back queef of the year, queef of the week?
Oof.
Or two in the season so far?
2 in the season so far. Yeah, Trevor, our reigning champion, that a lot of friends in our league like to call him the Oracle because he's won. I don't know. He might have won 4 championships or something like that.
Maybe 2. Let's not
2?
juice it.
All right,
Let's
all right,
not
all right,
juice
all right,
4.
all right.
Come on. We need some boys to come in and back that up. Oh my, 4.
Okay,
Jeez.
all right, right,
Only had 9 years.
Well, I think he's been in the playoffs every single season. Okay, we'll give him that. All right. I feel bad for Trevor because Trevor, he had also the biggest move of his life. I got to see him before. It's so funny. I'm moving to Tennessee on Monday. Trevor's moving to Australia that same Monday. Okay, that guy just moved to Australia. I contacted him earlier this week to see how he's doing. He said that he's settling down. He started to get things going, and he saw kangaroos. So he thought that seeing kangaroos was actually pretty sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, just hopping around like
sweet.
deer here in Tennessee. It's like, oh my goodness, that's pretty cool.
That is sweet.
So I do feel bad for Trevor because he's still trying to figure out the time situation. There, he's like a day ahead of us or something like that, or a day behind. It's one of those. One of those. Either way, inexcusable. You don't leave that guy in your lineup. I don't care. You set a timer before you go to bed or like something, so you make sure that you find out whether or not this guy's playing or not. And sorry there, Trevor. You got a big fat goose in your lineup. Big fat goose.
3 gooses in our league last week. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see more. Moving along this week on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, Max, let's get into our week 5 game picks. We got some juicy games on the schedule, but I don't know if a lot of people know this. This is the week where bye weeks start, Max. We got 4 teams on a bye here.
I'm getting hit hard in my fantasy lineup this week, week 5. I have Keenan Allen and I have Kenneth Walker III. And you might as well count this as a bye week. We have the Cowboys versus the 49ers. I have the Cowboys defense. I don't know if I'm starting the Cowboys defense against the 49ers, everybody. Oh my goodness. That definitely makes me nervous. It might be a tough week. I still have faith in my boys, but without Kenneth Walker and Keenan Allen, the bye weeks are kicking my ass this week.
2 juicy starters right there. But the 4 teams on bye are the Cleveland Browns, Los Angeles Chargers, Seattle Seahawks, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tough to have a week 5 bye and then have to go all those weeks in a row to finish the season. I would want it. I would want it later.
A bit later, yeah.
But let's start here. Thursday night, Prime Video, Max. We got your 0-4 shit-sniffing Bears going on the road. Take on the Salamanders of Washington. Max, are the Bears going to get their first W tomorrow night?
Oh, this is the worst football game to air. I swear.
I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, and I don't even mind I'm missing it.
Yeah. I'm still going to iron my Khalil Mack jersey. I'm still going to iron that out. I'm still going to put it on. I'm going to have the game on to root on my Bears, but I am picking the Washington Queeps, the Washington football Queeps, to take this one home. The Bears are the worst team in the league, everybody. How many times I got to say it today? I'm a Bears fan. I picked them to squeak into the playoffs out of hope. This is the worst team that I have seen in Bears history.
That's big talk there, Max. Bears history. I really want to take the Bears here. Justin Fields, he might have figured something out last week. He was my extra juicy dog at the quarterback position last week.
Good pick.
Quarterback 4 on the week. I can't take the Bears. I can't take the Bears on the road. Washington looked good last week, losing by a field goal in overtime to the Eagles. I got to take the Salamanders.
Washington is they're solid. They're not great. They're not good. Like they're solid. At least they're a football team. The Bears aren't a football team. Okay, they'll get their ass kicked by a lot of college teams right now. I'm telling you right now, they'll get their ass kicked.
Moving to Sunday, we got back-to-back London games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They just stayed over there and hung out.
Yeah, what? That was really weird. Okay, whatever.
Home away from home. They're sitting at 2-2 right now. Maybe surprising to some people, but Buffalo's coming across the pond this time. And Max, I think Buffalo's going to smack them around. Jaguars are going to go to 2-3. This AFC South is wide open.
AFC South is wide open. Jaguars have had a tough schedule, believe it or not, with some of these losses, and Buffalo Bills being the toughest loss they're going to take. I think it's going to be closer than you think, just because the Jaguars they're already there. They're already there in London. They already got their sleep schedule right. So it's going to be it's going to be a little bit different. But I still got the Bills. The Bills are too good.
This was, excuse me, this was a big point in the preseason, Max, when you were queefing on me about taking my Titans to win the division, that the Jaguars are going to be playing the Chiefs and the Bills, and they're, the Titans already have wins over the Bengals and the Chargers. This AFC South is open, baby, and let's get right into the AFC South right here, because we got a battle. The 2-2 Titans go to Indianapolis to take on the 2-2 Colts. This baby is going to be a smash mouth game. Max, you saw my Titans last week.
I did.
Win 27-3, a spanking over the Bengals. I think that carries over. I'm planning on starting DeAndre Hopkins in my flex. Let's not sleep on a touchdown.
Oh my.
Titans win on the road. Oh, baby, it's going to be sweet.
I also got the Titans. Okay, hey, I'm starting to become I'm not a Titans fan, but I'm gonna root for them.
Bears, Raiders, Titans for you.
Oh, Raiders, get out of here. Jesus. Get out of here. I'm starting to like the Titans a little bit, just because, I got to root for a Nashville crowd. This game's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight game. I really think it's going to be a good one. The Colts defense is actually pretty good. Okay, look out. They got a lot of sacks this year. They got like 14 sacks. Okay, so look out, because Queef Tannehill sucks. And I can also claim that again from what I saw on last Sunday. He is garbage. Okay. He sucks. It's the running game of Derrick Henry and even Tajay Spears. That's what's been great. And also their defense looked good against Cincinnati. We'll talk about Cincinnati when we get there, but I also got Tennessee. So go Tennessee.
Moving along on Sunday, we got the 2-2 Houston Texans going on the road to take on the Falcons at 2-2. Now this might be a good game here. Probably a toss-up the way that Houston's been playing, the way they've been scoring points. But Atlanta at home, I think they're going to control the tempo of this game. Falcons get this one done in a 22-17 game. I don't know, some shit like that.
I agree with that score. I think these are actually pretty fun games. I like looking at I like the fact that Houston is having a good season with CJ Stroud already. Desmond Ridder sucks on the Falcons, by the way. He looked terrible last week in London. Terrible. But I also do have the Falcons. I think they do control the game on the ground with Bijan Robinson. But that's all. And they're at home. So, they always play a little bit better. So I got Falcons. Let's go Falcons.
Staying in the morning games on Sunday, we got the winless 0-4 Panthers going on the road to take on the 3-1 Detroit Lions. Max, make this one quick. Detroit is already favored by 10 points. This one might be a smacking. Carolina is allegedly they're looking for a number one wide receiver right now. Well, they just traded away DJ Moore. Carolina might win 2 games this year.
They're definitely going for that number 1 overall pick. They have no quarterback, so why wouldn't you try? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They do have Bryce Young. Sorry, he's in development. But it's the Lions, everybody. There's going to be 2 0-5 teams, and the Bears are one of them.
Yeah, CJ Stroud definitely outperforming Bryce Young at this moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Another ass beating coming in the morning games. The 1-3 Giants, who look awful, and make me look awful right now. They're going on the road to take on Miami at 3-1. Miami's 11-point favorite. Ride the Dolphins. Giants look awful. Danny Dookie Jones looks like trash. But Max, guess what? He's in my lineup right now. I'm starting him.
Oh God! You didn't want to go into the waiver wire and just fucking pick up somebody.
I'll look again.
Yeah, go pick up Jimmy G, as Zach would say. Zach would want Jimmy G. Aiden O'Connell. We'll get to the Raiders in a second, because I got really excited about Aiden O'Connell. Go Boilers!
Raiders are your second favorite team.
Get out of here. Settle down over there. You're getting sweaty. I'm getting sweaty. Dolphins got this one. The Giants are terrible. Danny Dimes got sacked 10 times. This guy got sacked
Pick
10
six.
times.
Pick six.
Pick six. They look like garbage. That offense has got nothing without Saquon Barkley. Dolphins look so damn good. I love watching the Dolphins. I hope they're on TV.
Dolphins are definitely a sexy team, a fantasy relevant team. For the Giants to win a game in the playoffs last year, this is a big disappointment for them.
Yeah.
All right, Max, we got 2 more games here in the morning slate on Sunday. We got the 2-2 New Orleans Saints going on the road to take on the 1-3 Patriots. Couple nuggets for you here. Alvin Kamara returned last week, as we all know. He had 13 catches, Max, for 33 yards. Okay.
Oh gosh.
This is the least amount of yards on at least 13 catches in the history of the NFL.
Wow.
The previous low on 13 plus catches, 71 yards. So this is crazy. 13 catches for 33 yards. That's nuts.
You're happy in fantasy.
Yeah.
One way to look at it.
Especially in a PPR league. Hell yeah. But the Patriots, they're coming off that 38-3 pounding last week by the Cowboys. Max, this was actually Bill Belichick's worst loss in his career.
Smashed them.
They're not
They're
not rebounding from this. I know Derek Carr's hurt, but Alvin Kamara is going to have a big game. I'm going Saints on the road.
I'm also going Saints. I'm a little surprised at how good the Saints have been so far. The defense looks great. Here's the question though: is Derek Carr? Is he playing?
Played last week and he shouldn't.
Everything was good.
He shouldn't have.
Well, I know that it's questionable right now, but so he just must be doing limited practices. But it sounds like he's going to be all right if he played last week.
Last game in the morning slate, AFC North battle here. The Baltimore Ravens sitting at 3-1, going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, sitting at 2-2. The defense just goosed last week. Kenny Pickett might be the worst starting quarterback in the league. I don't know. He said he's going to play this week. I don't know if he's going to. If he doesn't, Mitch Queef-Bisky, your guy, is going to be in there. But it doesn't matter. Baltimore's going to get this one done on the road. Only a 4-point favorite. I might be taking the Ravens with those 4 points.
I got the Ravens all day. It's a mess in Pittsburgh. I'm surprised they are 2-2. They would not be 2-2 if freaking Micah Fitzpatrick didn't crush
Minka.
Nick Chubb. Micah Fitzpatrick didn't crush Nick Chubb's knee and my heart while you're at it.
And your heart. Well, poor Chubb. Browns are on bye, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Afternoon slate here. We got 4 games. Got a couple juicy ones. First here, we got the 4-0 undefeated Eagles going on the road, going to LA. Take on the Rams sitting at 2-2. I was back and forth on this game, Max.
Definitely. I was too.
This one's a good one. Puka Nacua. Big name here. We didn't know this guy 5 weeks ago. We didn't know.
His name's Puka. Who the hell? Who? Puka.
Max, he's got more catches and receiving yards through a player's first 4 games. Through his first 4 games in his career than anyone has had in their first 5 games. Okay. He has more catches and yards in his first 4 games than anyone has ever had in their first 5 games. This guy came out of nowhere. Kyron Williams, also the running back out of Notre Dame, also was a great waiver wire pickup. Probably the 2 best waiver wire pickups this year. Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, both on the Rams. I want to take the Rams here, but they lost to the Bengals. I know the Eagles coming off barely beating the Salamanders last week, but I got to go Eagles. I got to go Eagles on the road.
Yeah, I'm definitely still on that Eagles train right now. They're 4-0. I'm not going to jump off it yet. The Rams have been a surprise, though. Am I not right? Like, I think we were all like, "Oh, the Rams suck. They're not going to do it." Like, these guys actually might be going all the way to the final week. You try to slip into that playoff.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think they look all right. Great coaching. Sean McVay is such an awesome coach.
Better weapons than we thought there.
No doubt. But I do have the Eagles for this week.
Moving along, we got 2 1-3 teams here, both disappointing. One we figured they were going to be 1-3. One we're pretty surprised. We got the Bengals going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. I think Arizona's really bad. I
Mm,
think Arizona's really bad. I think the Bengals, this could be a get right game.
mhm.
I don't care if it is for them or not. I don't want to see it really, but I'm gonna have the Bengals in this one. What do you think, Max?
I think you said exactly what needed to be said. I think it's a back, try to get back on track game. This is what I'm going to say about the Bengals because this is what I ended up watching. You know how close I was to starting Joe Burrow last week because the Titans defense sucks. I was this close.
Against the
I was
pass.
against the pass. Sorry, everybody. Against the pass. Yes, this close. But the rushing the rush the rush I'm sorry the rush defense the stopping the rushing game and also attacking the quarterback. Titans are really good, but what the Bengals struggle with is their offensive line is terrible. I literally Joe Burrow would say hike and then he get tackled. It almost it's not as bad as it is in New York for the Giants where Danny Dimes got sacked 10 times this past Monday, but the offensive line looks awful. Joe Burrow doesn't know what to do. He can't run because he's a little gimpy in the calf, okay, as we all know. And it's hard for him to chuck it right now because he doesn't get any blocking. They got to figure out that offensive line. And Joe Mixon ain't doing shit either. If you have if you have anyone on the Bengals right now, you are severely disappointed.
The Cincinnati Bengals through 4 weeks are 32nd. Max, there's 32 teams in the NFL. They're dead last in points per play, and touchdowns. They have 3 offensive touchdowns in 4 games, Max. 3 offensive touchdowns.
Ridiculous. No one was expecting that. No one.
Your guy, Joe Burrow, my AFC North queef of the year. He's QB 31 on the season.
Terrible.
QB 31. He has 31.4 fantasy points. Max, you're not going to believe this. 10 defenses and 16 kickers have outscored Joe Burrow on the season. 10 defenses and 16 kickers are more valuable than Joe Burrow right now.
When you do not have an offensive line, when you do not have that blocking ability, quarterbacks can't do anything. That is why Tom Brady's the man. I don't care what you think about it. When he was on the Patriots and they won a Super Bowl, he went out and bought his offensive line, every single one on that offensive line, a car. Maybe Joe Burrow needs to do that with his new contract.
Yeah, a lot of money there, Joe. Staying in the afternoon games, we got a snoozer here. This one's not going to be on my TV. Both teams sitting at 1-3. The Jets coming here to Denver, take on the Broncos. This game's a toss-up, Max. I think the Broncos defense is awful. I think the Broncos defense is awful.
Yep.
Just before we came on here live today, I picked up Tyler Goose. I picked him up from the Jets. Could be a touchdown.
It might be his goose week. That's what it is. It might be the goose week.
Denver is 29th against the tight end position. Tyler Conklin. He could get in the end zone. I'm going Jets on the road. Buff the Broncos. I know I got a helmet of the Broncos right here. Dr. Serlin sitting on top. But Broncos suck. Broncos are awful.
Broncos are really, really bad. I can't believe it either. You know, when you see Russell Wilson get traded there, signs this big contract. Sean Payton's there now too. So you're like, oh, okay, all right. And maybe they turn it around. It's not looking like it. The Jets suck too, but I think the Jets defense is enough to disturb Russell Wilson. So yeah, go Jets. I got the Jets.
Zach Wilson looked a little bit better last Sunday night against the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
Listen to this one. Zach Wilson, according to Bleacher Report here, he's the only QB to ever have fewer interceptions and more completions, passing yards, and touchdown passes in a game against Mahomes in college or the NFL. Zach Wilson had fewer picks, more completions, yards, and tutties than Mahomes last Sunday night. Can you believe that?
I'm shocked. Well, good for him. Maybe he's turning it around.
Maybe he's turning around, and as a Garrett Wilson owner, I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Moving along here in the afternoon games, the 3-1 Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to take on the Minnesota Vikings at 1-3. Just got their first win last week. Guess what, Max? They're going to 1-4. Chiefs on the road.
Chiefs easy, but I do think that this could be a shootout. I think it could be a back and forth scoring event. I think it could be a fun one to watch on your TV, but I got Chiefs all day. Yeah, no doubt.
It is the highest projected over-under on the week at 52.5 points. So, yeah, there's going to be some scoring here in this matchup. Moving into Sunday night, prime time, Max. Not Coach Prime out here in Boulder, but prime time NBC, the Sunday night game. We got the Cowboys taking on the 49ers.
This might be the best game so far.
This is my juiciest game of the week. You took the words out of my mouth. Cowboys at 3-1, smacking people. They lost to Arizona. Who'd they lose to?
Arizona.
They lost to Arizona by 12. Surprising game there. 49ers undefeated at home. This one is juicy. I'm definitely starting Brandon Ayuk, 140 something yards last week. I've got to go the 49ers at home. I can't explain that Arizona loss for the Cowboys. I'm going to 49ers in prime time.
You know what? I had a little back and forth on this. Okay, I have CeeDee Lamb. All right, I got the Dallas defense, and I just picked up Ferguson, tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if I'm starting all of them. I'm just saying that I have the Dallas Cowboys this week. Okay, Dallas looks good. Okay, this is the best Dallas team that I've seen long time. I honestly, because their defense is so dominating. It is exciting to see. They have 4 touchdowns already. 4 touchdowns by the defense. Okay. Micah Parsons is arguably the best defensive player in the game. He's so good. So good. Their cornerbacks on the wings are just intercepting the ball left and right. But it's even with all these defensive players, they're playing the 49ers, and it makes you scared to start them. I'm scared to start the defense this week because the 49ers are so technical. They don't make mistakes. Okay. Can Dallas make the mistakes? I'm thinking they can. And so that's why I'm going Dallas. I think the defense, I don't think the 49ers have seen as good as a defense as the Dallas Cowboys so far.
That's a juicy one. Prime time Sunday night. Also prime time Monday night. Last game on the slate for week 5 on ESPN. The 2-2 Green Bay Packers going on to take on the Las Vegas Raiders at 1-3. Max, I don't think the Raiders are very good. Their only win is a 1-point win over these Broncos. Green Bay Packers on the road.
I got the Packers. I think they're just a better organization, just all around better when it comes to that. The Raiders, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. Hey, but I will say a little shout out to Purdue University's Aiden O'Connell. He got out there. He played all right. I know he had like probably 3 turnovers first game of the NFL, little jitters and whatnot, but it's pretty exciting to see a Purdue quarterback starting in the NFL. We haven't seen that since Drew Brees.
Drew Beezy. Shout out Drew Bees.
But I got Green Bay. Sorry, I didn't say that. I got Green Bay. Go Packers.
Go Pack, go. Max, let's finish up here with our last segment of this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. We got our week 5 Extra Juicy Dawgz.
Yeah. Give me a bone while you're at it. Give me a bone so I can bury that bone. Bury it right there in the Bears field where it belongs with all the other dead football players which is the entire team of the Bears organization. They suck. God, the Bears suck.
Max, how about you lead us off here with your extra juicy dog at the quarterback position?
Will do. So maybe this is a little out of the ordinary if you're asking me, but sticking with the Green Bay Packers, have Jordan Love. Okay. Jordan Love is going against the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday, and Las Vegas Raiders against the pass game is ranked 23rd. Okay. This guy, he's got all his weapons back. Okay. Christian Watson's back. I think Musgrave, did I get that right? The tight end. I think he's back. I know that he's been questionable, but also they got Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs. Like, these guys are actually looking pretty good. Watson. And yeah, Christian Watson. Yeah. And then 1 second here, because on the ground also, Jordan Love loves to run the ball. He's doing all right. He's got 2 back-to-back rushing touchdowns, and for 3 straight weeks, this guy had at least 20 fantasy points in our league. And everybody, we got a half PPR. And then last week he had 16.8, which actually, like, you're kind of happy if you're struggling with like Joe Burrow or some of the other guys that you'd be expecting to be putting up huge numbers. I think Jordan Love is going to have a big game against the Raiders. Go Jordan Love and the Packers.
Jordan Love QB4 this season. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. One spot lower than him at QB5 in the season is my extra juicy dog at the quarterback position, Philadelphia Eagle, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, he's playing in the second highest over-under on the week at 50.5 points on the road against the LA Rams. Going to be some points in this game.
Yeah.
We just saw last week Anthony Richardson. He ran for 56 yards and a touchdown against these Rams. I think Jalen Hurts gonna run one in, probably throw a couple. He's got 5 touchdowns and 3 picks this year, 5-3 after 4 weeks. That's not very good. I think it's going to improve here. It better improve here. But Jalen Hurts, QB5 in the season. He's my extra juicy dog at the quarterback position. Max, who's your running back for week 5?
Moving on to the running back. Oh, man. Okay, I know that he's your queef in the NFC West, but I got Josh Jacobs of the Raiders. He's back. I'm telling you right now, he's back. He's back. Last week he had 8 catches, 81 yards. Hold on. Hold on. What else do you have? He had 58 rushing yards and a touchdown while he was at it. This guy's back. He's ready to go. He's going to go up against the Pack that rank 28th against the run. 28th. I think that Josh Jacobs runs all over them and gets quite a few catches while he's at it.
I thought you were going to guarantee something for us.
I am. My buddy, Mr. Tutty, is coming with Josh Jacobs, baby. He's going back-to-back weeks with a touchdown, whether it's whether it's receiving or rushing. Josh Jacobs, you better believe he will be in the end zone this weekend. You better be starting him. He might be your RB1, baby. You put him in that RB1 slot. Let's go.
Yeah, like you said, he was my queef of the division. The efficiency's not there right now, but RB14 on the season. I don't know if you're happy, but RB14 solid.
He's waking up, no doubt.
My extra juicy running back for week 5 is a guy we already talked about today, David Montgomery.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Why not?
He's running back 7 on a points per game basis. He missed week 3. They're 9.5-point home favorites over the winless, sorry-ass Panthers. Okay? He's got extra rest coming off that Thursday game last week. We already talked about it. 32 carries for 121 yards in those 3 tutties. The Lions seem not ready to give Jahmyr Gibbs a bigger workload.
Seriously.
They seem like they're going to ease him in here.
Yeah.
And guess what? 9.5-point home favorites. That's a touchdown for the running back. David Montgomery, week 5, my buddy, Mr. Tutty. I've been pretty bad. I've been pretty bad this year so far. But David Montgomery, week 5, is going to get in the end zone.
I like it. I like that one a lot.
Where are you going for your receiver for the extra juicy dog for week 5?
Oh, baby. Extra juicy dog for the wide receiver. I'm telling you right now, if he's not in your flex, I think you're mistaken. I got Zay Flowers. Okay, Zay Flowers of Baltimore. He is the number 1 receiving option. I mean, okay, wide receiver option. How about that? Wide receiver option. I know that damn it. The tight end, Mark Andrews. Geez, it just slipped my mind for a second. I know Mark Andrews is the big dog as far as receiving goes, but Zay Flowers is getting a lot of targets, everybody. This guy is getting the job done. 29 targets already. He had 10 targets in his opening game. He had 10 targets against Indy not too long ago. He even had 56 receiving yards last week against Cleveland. They're going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 30 against receivers, ranked 30th against receivers. And I'm going to go ahead and call it again. I'm expecting Zay Flowers to have his first career touchdown on my buddy, Mr. Tutty, coming from Zay Flowers. It might be a 60-yarder. I swear. I think it's going to be a bomb that Lamar Jackson gets. I can't wait to see this guy do a backflip into the end zone because this guy's incredibly athletic. Zay Flowers, baby, my buddy, Mr. Tutty.
Wow. Zay Flowers, a touchdown guarantee for his first career touchdown. That's bold right there, Max. That's bold. Wide receiver 34 on the season. But yeah, number 1 wide receiver option for Lamar Jackson. My extra juicy dog at the wide receiver position this week is going to be Garrett Wilson. Okay, we talked about him a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Zach Wilson. Yeah. Zach Wilson starting to maybe figure some things out. I don't know. Garrett Wilson right now is wide receiver 26 on the season in PPR leagues, full PPR. Taking on the Broncos, like we talked about, they're 26th against receivers so far. They're just bleeding points.
Ugh.
Gave up 70 to the Dolphins. Garrett Wilson's, he's coming off 9 catches on 14 targets last week. Those are both season highs.
Very nice.
He's actually 11th at the position in targets, so he's getting the volume. He's just got to get it in the vicinity of him. You know, you're throwing it to him, but let's get it close to his hands. Zach Wilson, got to keep feeding him. Garrett Wilson, I'm not going to guarantee a touchdown because it's going to be a low-scoring game.
I thought it was coming.
It's going to be a low-scoring game out here in Denver. Not one you're going to have on your TV, but I can see Garrett Wilson coming up with 12 to 15 fantasy points.
I like it. Yeah, I love the 14 target action that he had last week against the Chiefs. It's going to be a good game from him in Denver.
Yeah. Who is your extra juicy tight end to finish us up here, Maxie Boo?
So to finish up the extra juicy dogs when it comes to the tight end, hey, I got Sam Laporta of Detroit. Man, they've always been pretty good when it comes to the tight end situation. Sam Laporta is a rookie, and he's ranked number 2 in our fantasy league right now as a tight end. This guy gets a lot of targets. He had 11 against Atlanta. He had 5 last week with 56 yards. I'm not guaranteeing a touchdown or anything here because I think they're going to keep that to the ground. I think they continue to just rush the ball with David Montgomery, maybe Jahmyr Gibbs getting the end zone while they're at it. But I'm telling you right now that Laporta, he's an automatic start, especially the tight end position is so tough. It's just so tough. This guy was a steal pick. You probably got him in a late round. It might have been a 14th, 15th round. I swear it had to have been. So Sam Laporta, though, is looking great.
In our league, I believe he was the 3rd to last pick in the drafts by Nick Smith, 16th rounder.
Great pick.
My extra juicy tight end for week 5. TJ Hockenqueef, Minnesota Vikings, had a tough week last week, but he's still tight end 1 on the season. He leads or is tied in the lead at the position in catches and targets and top 3 in yards and tutties. 52.5 point over-under is the highest of the week in a juicy home matchup with the Chiefs. Kansas City is 23rd against tight ends in fantasy. Like we said, coming off that tough week last week, he's going to be way more involved. You know, he just signed that contract. You know, he's going to Captain Queef Cousins saying, give me the damn ball. Jordan Addison coming off that goose. I think Hockenqueef maybe gets a tutty, but it ain't going to be a guarantee for me here today.
Nah.
I've been getting too greedy. I've been striking out.
We got to start tossing out who's winning right now when it comes to well maybe next week we'll tell everybody how that race is coming on my buddy Mr. Tutties. But all these people that we just named out, we hope that they are in your fantasy lineups, everybody, because they got some good matchups this week.
And feel free to leave in the comments your touchdown guarantees. We're interested to hear what you guys think.
Heck yeah, please.
Max, great having you back this week, brother. I missed doing this with you, man. That's gonna conclude this week's episode. How do you feel, man?
It just feels so good to come back to the roots. You know, I wasn't nervous. I walked into this podcast room with my backpack on, which I'm probably not going to do again because the lighting in here is terrible. So sorry about that, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own lights again. But it's so good to be back, man, and I can't wait to continue to talk about this season. And everybody, thanks for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and really quick, because we haven't talked about baseball in weeks. It is the MLB playoffs, Kobreezy. MLB playoffs have started, everybody. This is the best time for baseball. It's such a bummer that the Cubs were 1 game out. Oh, man, it's a heartbreaker, but there's some great teams this year for fighting for the crown. And hey, I think there's a game on right now still, if I'm not mistaken. So I might have to throw that on right after this, Kobreezy.
I hate to tell you, no, they're all finished up for today.
Breaking my heart.
The Phillies and Diamondbacks are both moving on along with my Rangers They closed the deal.
Wow,
today,
they all just swept
and
the 2 out of 3 series.
Sorry, and the Twins.
all
four.
4 of them.
Yep. No games
Eesh.
tomorrow. No games tomorrow.
Eesh.
Going on to the next round.
Well, that's a little disappointing. But the next round is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see those games. That'll be fun.
Definitely juicy. Max, like I said, great to have you back. Ain't the same without you, man. Anything you got for the people before we get out of here?
Hey, everybody. If you live in a city that has feces and smells like piss and shits, and you're afraid to get out of your house, not only because they're telling you to stay in your house, but because you don't want to get stabbed or robbed, I suggest you move out of that city and move to beautiful Tennessee, because I'll tell you right now, we're loving it. We can actually go for walks again. It's just so great.